the best players to play with on the team in North America to compete against the world is Skadoodle for sure, Shroud, all the band players, me, Swag, AZK, Steel, Tarek, Nitro, Jordan, and Rush. I think those like 10, 11 in particular, and obviously Ocean, um, are definitely like top of the food chain right now, and the players I would trust the most, and that I would pick up definitely and play with definitely. Now, I said Hika. DaZeD, Tico, Rush, nothing. I didn't say Hika? I have Hiko written down right here. If I didn't say it, my bad. But yeah, Hika. Hiko too. Um, there's also a lot of players in this game who have had like so many chances and they've been playing at like high levels for so long. Not necessarily high levels, but they've been competing against other people who are at a high level. Maybe not them necessarily for so long, and it's like I just don't get why people continue to pick them up. Okay? I just don't get it. I just don't understand. Like, for me, there's players that I would. Okay, here's the difference between me and, like, a lot of people, though. When I play CS, I am trying to win and place, like, first and really compete against the best of the best and place, like, top 3 semifinals at every tournament, shit like that, right? So for me, like outside of those 11 players, if I was going to play with someone, I wouldn't play with someone who's been in the scene and I feel just hasn't risen to the occasion to be like a really good player. You know, this game's been out a long time. So I would definitely play with like someone unproven and take a chance on them over like it's tough to do this without saying names, but I don't know if I should say names of players like I would just never play with because like I would take a chance on like sick on complexity. Way over picking up someone who's been in the scene for like 2 years and just hasn't done shit, you know? Or I'd pick up a Stewie and be like, all right, I'm gonna take a chance on Stewie. Let me see if I can get him to be fucking nuts, you know? And it's like, I don't see. That's the thing I don't understand about people is like they just because a lot of people play this game, and even when they're like good players, they'll just play with people who are just like, um, just have like been playing for so long and haven't done anything, and I just don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. I'm not talking about Adren. Adren's gotten his teams far. I mean, they haven't really done well on land, but at least he's gotten his teams pretty far online. I mean, he's gotten his teams far online, good enough to get on Liquid with really good contracts. So I mean, that's good enough. Kusta, I think, could be a really good player as well. I would take a chance on Kusta, Stewie, Sick, even Uber. I think is pretty good. He has pretty good clear comms. I mean, he said something. He was like when we beat him on land, he was like really cringy though, and said something really dumb, which was fucking hilarious to me because we just like crushed the shit out of him. But still, he's good, and I think like he has potential. And I would take a chance on Uber over like so many other people. Yeah. Um, Color's pretty solid. He's pretty good. I don't know. I don't think he's like incredible or anything. Like he's not someone I would build a team around. But if I just needed like a solid fifth player on a team of all stars, I'd definitely consider him. My thoughts on Flom. I mean, I don't think he's even close to good enough to be playing on like a top level team or anything. But I don't think that's his goal, anyways. So the thing about I don't know if I should say these things. I don't know if I should say what I'm saying, but I'll just say it anyways. Whatever. Because it doesn't matter. But I feel like when I say things like this, people like report it to the FPL council when I tell people my thoughts about players, you know? And then like I'm gonna get banned from FPL for giving my honest thoughts about players, which I think is so stupid. You know, like anything negative I say, people report me to the council. It's like fucking ridiculous, dude. So, I mean, there's a couple like okay. I mean, I don't know how Flom plays with the team. Okay, this is the thing. This is the thing. Flom is either, at least the way he plays in FPL, is either just going to win the game for you because he's going to be playing well and playing really aggressively and retardedly, and he's going to win the game for you, or he's just going to lose the game for you. And it's like, well, I hate playing with people like that. Like I honestly can't stand playing with people like that. It's really annoying because it's like, no offense to Flom, he's not particularly skilled, and that's why he has to play like that. If he was really skilled, he'd be able to play a passive style of CS like a Skadoodle and just hit his shots and play properly, and then he wouldn't have to do these gimmicky things. And I don't like playing with players like that who are really one-dimensional. And it's like, okay, if I play with a player like that, and Schaefer's my boy, like I like Schaefer a lot, but he's the exact same way. Like Schaefer and Flom play the exact same way. They just get an op every single round. If they have a rifle, they can't rifle worth shit. So it's like when you're playing on their team, you can't op. Because if you op, then they have a rifle and they can't do anything with it, and they have no idea how to play with a rifle. Then it's like, okay, so this guy has to op. He's super one-dimensional. Has to op, right? Has to 100% has to op, or else you're just at a severe disadvantage because they can't hold their spot with a rifle, right? Then, if they're not hitting their shots with the op, they're just losing the game for you. And like me, I could just win the game for us if I opt. I don't mind letting Skadoodle op and take the brunt of the fucking the the responsibility. I don't mind at all. You know? Same thing with Skadoodle, with even like JDM. JDM's a really good op. If I have an op, I'm gonna give it to JDM every single time because he could op like passively, and he could op without like just either winning the game or losing the game for his team. You know, and it's like for me, okay, I like to play with players who I could play with, and it's not just all about them, and they're not just they're either going to win the game for me or lose the game for me. That just fucking blows, you know? And that's how it is when you play with some of these players. Same thing with, like, FGB usually, okay? And I've told him that. I've told him that. I told, like, FGB, I'm like, I don't know why you play like this. All you do is push. And it's like, well, if all you're going to do is push and rush, we're either going to win the game because of you, or we're gonna fucking lose the game because of you. And it's fucking lame, dude. Alright? And if you're super fucking one-dimensional, and the only thing that you could do is worse than the other players at your team, on your team, that's fucking gay as hell. You know? Mo's good, man. First off, Mo could rifle, and he has an insane USP. But recently, Mo's been a complete fucking faggot to me, so I don't know. But Mo's really good on land, too. So I don't know. But recently, Mo's been a fucking faggot towards me, so I should just call him an idiot. What about Fugly? I've always said Fugly is, like, pretty, like, not necessarily impressive, but, like, decent, Like, I don't know, just solid. Like, he's probably not gonna win you the game, but he's probably not gonna lose you the game. Kind of similar to, like, a Cutler. In that sense. Kind of similar to like a TCK. TCK usually doesn't win you the game, but he definitely doesn't lose you the game. You know? Thoughts on Hades? Well, the thing about Hades is I don't feel like he has like a consistent role. And I think that hurts him a lot. You know? If Hades like had a more consistent role and played like the same spot every single time, I think he would be a lot better. But instead, he plays like at least in FPL. In FPL, he plays like a different spot every single round or every single map, and it's like I know he's trying to fill in and shit like that and do what's best for the team, but I don't know. It's a lot better if, like, if I was Hades, I'd start playing like solo sites and things like that, and just trying to specialize on that. How do I rate Roka? You're welcome, chat. Roka's obviously a supremely skilled player. Um, but the thing about Roka is he plays very, very static on his CT sides, similar to like how a Storm used to and things like that, which makes him very predictable. And because of that, it hurts him a lot. Um, I've also talked to other players about Roka too and asked them about him, and they said that like the thing about Roka is even though he's so skilled and good and obviously and has really good aim and everything like that, is that like if you tell him to like go to the corner and then like you know like play here, he'll just like fight to his death instead of like if someone tells me to play somewhere, I'm not necessarily going to always fight to my death. I'm going to say I'm going to like spot, throw a smoke, stuff like that. So you kind of have to control him a lot is what I've heard about him. Thoughts on Summit and FPL? Summit belongs in FPL. He's a pretty talented player. He's definitely more than good enough for FPL. He tries really, really hard. He communicates. I like playing with Summit and FPL. Thoughts on Fraud coming back? Love you. Thank you for your donation. Holy fucking Reddit and chat. I think that Fraud could be really, really good, but I think it's going to be a process. And I actually don't mind that pickup at all for Complexity. Yeah, it's like honestly, Complexity is going to be rough for a while. I'm telling you right now, they're probably going to be very, very rough. Okay, Warden's in-game leading. The style of game that he wants to play is not gonna win you any games against upper level competition. It's a lot of things where like you just go straight into an A exec on Mirage and things like that, which is terrible. You always want to take map control and things like that and then do it, right? When you have that mindset where you're just like, no matter what, if it's 5v2 at this site, we could just rush in and go and trade and win the round. It's never gonna work. And Warden's gonna be like in-game leading and coaching, from what I heard. It's not gonna work, and they're gonna be really, really rough for like a while. Okay. Probably going to be rough for a while. Alright, I'll be honest. Semphis is not on Cole. So they're going to be rough. Alright. But I would take a chance on Fraud becoming Fraud again in 6 months than playing with so many of these other people. And I would take a chance on fucking Sick any day of the week over a lot of these people. So I like the direction they took. I'll take a chance on like a Sick, an RYX, and a Fraud and see what they could do over the next 6 months than all these other people. Always. Like I'm not that person that would just say, okay, you have consistently underperformed at multiple lands, with multiple different teams, with multiple opportunities. Why would I try and play with you? If I don't see it in you to be a very top level player and you have all these flaws and you haven't improved on them and things like that, why would I play with you? I'd much rather take a chance on a Fraud or a Sick or a Stewie or a Kusta or an Uber rather than just continue to pick up the same people over and over again who fail all the time and never get better and never improve and show no willingness to improve or work hard. I don't understand why people do it. I don't get it. I don't. What about Ocean? Ocean is fucking #1. NA. Greatest gamer in the game. Thoughts on Velens? I think Velens is going to be like one of the best coaches in the game. And if I was making a team and I had a team, right? Obviously that can't happen. But say I had a team, he would be like one of the first people I would go to coach my team. Thank you, Rob Wiz TV, for the sub. And the reason that I would pick him to be a coach over literally anybody else, like anybody, is because first off, he has a really good CS mind when it comes to a lot of the things that I value very highly, which is just those like super gimmicky plays and things like that, where you have like this sneaky way of killing people and things like that. And that's actually something that if I played again, I would go a lot more towards because I went away from that so much in CS:GO, and those gimmicky things are actually really good to throw in there a few rounds a half. Kusta's fucking good. I watch Kusta play. He plays smart Counter Strike. He calms. Like he's a little fucking sounds hella fucking emo and shit all the time. But like he seems fucking good to me. He seems like a really good player. I've seen enemy play, and I think he's like by far like their most important player for them winning. I think he's really good, and I think he can be very good in the future. So I'm very high on Kusta, and I would play with Kusta over like 90% of this community and take a chance on him because I see like that he could be very good um, in the future. What are your thoughts on Automatic and what team do you see him fitting well on? I think Automatic is not like a superstar by any means, and I think if he played more of a complementary role, it would definitely suit him more. Um, but I think he tries to be like the best player on the team, for instance. But I don't think he should try to shoot for being the best player on the team. I think he should just be like a good player on the team. You know, that's what I think Tim should do. The good, but Tim knows like every smoke and flash in the game. Like shit like that is really good. He has good communication. You know, um, but he's not like a superstar. And I think he should understand that he's not like a superstar. Like he's not like an Olaf Meister. And then that will help him a lot. That's what I think.